Welcome. This is the first edition of open source webinars by OW2. And the objective is to organize a regular series of webinars around 3 months or so. And the idea is to highlight both one OW2 story, a project, an initiative, a success story, something like that. And also a presentation coming from the NGI Next Generation Internet EC initiative to highlight successful funding stories for the community. First of all, a few news from OW2. We are finishing the preparation of OW2Con, our annual conference. So it's in June, 11 and 12 of June in Paris at the Orange Gardens Innovation Facility. And now the registrations just opened today, so you can register, it's free. You can register, you have the URL at ow2con.org. On the NGI side, so NGI, maybe you know NGI, it's a EC initiative to fund open source projects. So it's horizon funding, but it's very easy to apply. You just have a form to fill in. So about 1,000 projects have already been funded by NGI, and most of them, 80% of them, never received any EC funding before. So small structures, associations, SMEs, even individuals who usually don't feel able to apply to EC fundings can apply to NGI. It is designed for that. So we have currently 2 ongoing NGI projects with OW2 involved. The most prominent one just started. It is called NGI Zero Commons, and it is managed by the NLNet Dutch Foundation. So you have the URL here. And it is continuous. There are continuous open calls. So there is an ongoing open call now. And the other one is NGI Search. It will end this summer. The last open call is in June and July. And you can check ngisearch.eu. So today, our 2 stories. The first one is David Coutadeur from Worteks. So David is an identity management expert at Worteks for a few years already, and he's more a technical profile, but he works on SSO and IAM problematics, but he also participates in events to promote and share insights with the community. On the second one, I'm not even sure I have to present them. Open Food Facts is a well-known digital common focused on nutrition facts, open data. And they were funded by NGI Search. So they are today's NGI testimonial. And Alex has always been an open source developer and advocate, and although he's more a developer and engineer, he also participates in a lot of surrounding tasks, including marketing, communication, and system administration, and so on. So he joined Open Food Facts 18 months ago, and he's one of the lead. He's the technical lead of the refactoring of Open Food Facts search engine that he will present today, funded by NGI Search. So I will give the floor to David.
Thank you, Pierre-Yves. So I'm David Coutadeur. I'm working in the field of identity for about 12 years now. And if you want to contact me, you can use the social networks and the links I have put here. I am quite involved in the communities, especially Lemon and NGI community, but also LDAP Toolbox, LSC, and Fusion IAM. I will speak about. I will say some words about Fusion IAM too in this presentation. Some words about my company. I'm working for Worteks. Worteks is a company specialized in open source. We are providing both service and edition. And about edition, we have three main offers, vSuite, Woopla, and WIDAS. And the last one being the identity and access management field, containing, among other things, Lemon LDAP NG. And we are also partners of Red Hat, Bluemind, OnlyOffice, and Collabora Online. So what is Lemon LDAP NG? Lemon LDAP NG is a web SSO. SSO means here single sign-on, which means that you can log in only once, and then you can access all your application without new authentication. So Lemon LDAP NG is a SSO that protects web applications, so it's a web SSO. As you can see in this kinematic, the user is trying to access this application for the first time, but it is not known, so the application sends the user to the authentication portal. Actually, it's Lemon LDAP NG, where the user authenticates, and then he is redirected to the application, but this time he has a SSO token. And the SSO token is verified by the application and accepted thanks to the trust link that exists between the authentication portal and the application. And of course, after that, the user can access many other applications without having the authentication step at the authentication portal component. What's about the history of the project? Well, Lemon LDAP NG has about 20 years now. It was created in 2003. 3 years after that, in 2006, there was a fork named version NG, like a new generation. In 2010, the protocols CAS, SAML, and OpenID were implemented. And 6 years after that, the protocol OpenID Connect was included in the product. And now the current version is a version 2.0. It's the new major version. And in 2018, it was released with a new big feature, which was the second factors. And of course, it continues today. So what does the Lemon LDAP NG provide? Of course, it provides the main features, which is SSO. And he also provides some other features linked to the identity. Especially, he can make access control. So this means that the user can access one application because of the access rules you have defined. You also have some application menu, which is really useful. You can see the tiles corresponding to your applications. Only the applications you have the right to click on. As I said, there are also CAS, SAML, and OpenID Connect implementations. So it supports all these protocols. And also the second factors is also supported. It can, Lemon LDAP NG also provide some password management features. You can change or reset your password if you want. And of course, you can make some customization of the main interfaces. So what does it look like? You can see here an example. Here at the top left corner, you can see the authentication portal with a login and a password. At the bottom, you can see the administration interface, which is named the manager, where you can configure all the whole product. And at the right side, you can see the application menu with the famous tiles you can click, the tile corresponding to the application protected by Limon LDAP NG. Last word about Limon. It is licensed under GPL, so it's completely open source software. It is hosted by the OW2 project. And basically, if you want to check the activity of the project, basically everything is done in the GitLab Forge. So if you're interested in issues in the code and the merge request, etc., you can check everything is here. Of course, you can also check the main website. And for information, Limon LDAP NG also has received an award in 2014. It was a community award. So this means that there is a community which is quite active around Limon LDAP NG. Last one, the Limon LDAP NG is also a component of Fusion IAM. Fusion IAM is a project that provides many components of identity. So LDAP directory, some interfaces, etc. And all the interface, all the applications are protected by Limon LDAP NG. So don't hesitate to check this link. So what's new in Limon LDAP NG? First, here is a release cycle. The first thing to notice is that there is no new convention in the version. Before, it was named 2.0.16, and now we have adopted the new semantic version. So it's a convention where the version is named with major.minor.patch, which is more standard today. Also, as you can see, there is a new minor version about each 2 months, and a new major version. It's more variable, but it's every 6 months to 1 year. So now for this presentation, I will only concentrate on the 2 last major version, the 2.17 and the 2.18 version. And for information, there's a 2.19 version that we are working on and which must be released very soon. So what's new in 2.17? First, there is a new feature about the OpenID Connect protocol. We have implemented the back channel and front channel logout. Basically, these features are really useful if you want to spread your logout. So if you are authenticated on an OpenID Connect provider, you can propagate the logout until you have reached all relying parties or clients. And at the other side, you can also propagate the logout from your OpenID Connect providers to the ERP. There is also another feature. We now support the Cassandra for the storage of both configuration and session. You must note that Limon LDAP NG does not have any database by itself, but you can configure any base, any LDAP directory you want. And now you can use the Cassandra database for both the configuration of the SSO and the session for corresponding to each user session. So this one, it's not the big killer feature of the year, but it was really asked by many customers, and we have implemented this. So now you can use the new font awesome icons. So you still have the older icons present, but now you can use simply the font awesome code here. So as you can see, there is the name battery quarter, and it is displayed on the interface. You can see application test 1 as the corresponding icon. So it's much more convenient. Now there is also a new feature about the API. You can make a request on the API with a history endpoint, and you can get all the history of some user. So here you can check the Daniel.Jackson history, and only the last part of it. And you get the IP address, the date, the result. Another really useful feature is the in-network function. With this function, you can check reliably that the user is really in some network or as a specific IP. And you can also now define the key size of the SAML certificate. So before that, it was hard-coded to 2048, and now you can define any size you want. Last thing about the 2.17, now we provide all the application information through the REST service. So here you can see an example with the test1 application. You get really all the fields corresponding to the application. So the description, the display type, the name, logo, etc., etc. So now what's new in 2.18? First, a new feature is the ability to send a bulk of reset password links. So to be able to do this, you just have to enable the initialize password reset plugin. And you must only define a secret corresponding to the secret you will give later. And then you can just push some request, some post request containing a JSON structure. Here you can see the JSON structure contains a mail and the secret you have defined previously. And when you do this, you will receive an URL containing a token. And by clicking on this link, the user can change his password. So if you want to reinitialize all your user passwords, you can use this in a script to send all the links. Another new feature also, now we have implemented a local password policy plugin. So now you have some checks before the criteria. As you can see, for example, the minimal size of the password is fulfilled. There is a green check before that, but the minimal upper character is not. And of course, when you are typing your password, the check moves to give you some information. And linked to this, the fact that the password policies are done with a pluggable password policy, we have implemented a new feature, which is the password entropy. And password entropy, it's corresponding to this bar. You can see it here, giving you the strength of the password. So while you are typing, the strength is growing, and you can see the strength. There is also now the possibility to remember the second factor on a device. And this feature is done by the Trusted Browser plugin. Before that, it was named Stay Connected, but now it has been refactored and renamed into the Trusted Browser. And basically, this Trusted Browser plugin makes you have a check under the logging screen, and you can say that you want to remember the browser. So you log in with this check on, and after that, you don't need to log in for a long period of time. And you can use this plugin now in the second factor activation rule, so that you don't ask the second factor each time. And you can also enable this second factor, this rule, for some users only. There are also some improvements about OpenID Connect security. Now you can encrypt the ID token. The ID token is containing, sometimes it's containing some personal information. And when it contains some information, it can be useful to encrypt it with a GWE specification. You can also now improve the signature also of the ID token. You have the PS256 algorithm, which is a probabilistic version of RSA. Probabilistic here means that when you have a secret and you generate a signature, it will generate a different signature at each time. So it's there is a better security. And you can also use now the elliptic curve algorithm also for the ID token signature. There is also an improvement about the second factor registration. Before version 2.18, you were stuck on the register page, and now you can access the first application. So as you can see, the first screen is the connection to the application. You are redirected to the authentication portal. Then you were required to enter a TOTP second factor in this example. And for example, you use free TOTP on your mobile, and you register this mobile. And then before this improvement, you stayed on the screen and you have to click on the button of your application again. But now you directly go to your application. So here, as it is the first time I access this application, I have to give my consent. And when it's done, I'm indeed redirected to my application. Finally, there is also the support of attestation for the WebAuthent second factor. So WebAuthent is another kind of second factors. And basically, attestation, it's a feature that enables you to only allow some specific WebAuthent device and not all of them. So it's useful if you want to only enable the device that has been crypted, that has been cryptographically signed by your device manufacturer. And last feature, there is also a new hook before the second factor validation. So you keep, of course, the second factor validation as you have configured them in the manager, but you can also add some checks, some generic checks for all the second factors with this hook. So you can develop a plugin to run these additional checks. So that's all for the new features. If you want to stay in touch, don't hesitate to give a look at the mailing list, and especially the Lemon LDAP NG announces. And of course, you can also check the project updates at projects.ow2.org. And also check the social networks. Thank you for your attention.
So I will present the Search-a-Licious project, which is being developed at Open Food Facts and which has been funded by NGI Search program. And OW2 is our mentor in this project with Pierre-Yves and the office. So this is the agenda. And so first, what is Open Food Facts? You may know that what we eat matters a lot. There are different problems linked to the way we eat today. There is the growth rate of obesity over the last 50 years. And there is also the problem of carbon emissions. So, it's a difficult problem, but there is a huge impact of alimentation on global warming, and we can make a difference. So our mission at Open Food Facts is to empower consumers, producers, researchers, government to measure and change impact of food on our health and on the planet. And you have an image of our mobile app that I invite you to install if you don't have it already on your phone. So Open Food Facts is the world's largest open source food database. We had a systemic role in Nutri-Score creation and spread. We were the first application to display it when it was before it was named Nutri-Score even. It was done by a lab in France, which is called RN, and they needed such a database as ours to be able to calibrate it correctly. And we also were a first test bed for this score. And we try to build on this idea of scores to implement EcoScore, which is an experiment which enables to have an idea of the impact of a food product, the environmental impact. And yeah, the database is quite huge. I didn't update the presentation. We are above 3 million products from a lot of countries. And we have about 3 million users per month. And over 20,000 contributors, yeah. But what's very important, and that's why open source, the fact that it's open data matters, it's that it's reused by more than 200 applications and services. So, why do you need search? Might be obvious, but it's better to tell a bit more about just why you should search such a database. So, it's very important to make food information reachable, because every day you ask yourself, what should I eat today? How should I eat it? And so on. So we have a lot of answers in this database of open food facts, and we want to make them reachable. And you may have very different concerns, be it for your health, be it to have a low environmental impact, be it because you have allergies, ingredients you want to avoid, ethical considerations, religious concerns, actual availability of products, and so on. And today we have a lot of people that search food products and land in open food facts, but most of the time they land on open food facts after a search through one of the GAFAM search engine. And because we don't meet their relevance right now. And as you see, our new logo is a half a search icon, but we are not on par with the logo right now. So the challenge we have is that we want to have search which must be as easy as in a good e-commerce platform that people are used to. And we want to favor discoverability and simplicity. Still, we want to make complex queries possible because there are very advanced usage also for search. We have also this functionality already on the mobile app and on the website that is a personalized food scoring. So it's easy to use and it helps you get a transparent and scoring. But because it was implemented with a privacy-first design and with a simple approach, we can't right now do such a search on the full database. The ranking, it just applies to the current page you are viewing of your research, or if you have done some list, because on the application you can make some list. You can rank products on your list, but you can't search for your privacy, your private criteria on the whole database. So that's another scope of the search. And just to say also about advanced scenario, there are good opportunities through if we have a good search engine. For example, for NGOs and journalists that can find facts and evidences, because we have this database of all food products. There have been a bunch of articles lately in Sciences et Avenir, I think, by a journalist We have a lot of journalists that use the database or NGOs. Also, a lot of researchers are using the database, and maybe they could do more quick hypotheses if they have a good search engine with graphing capabilities. So we have some, but it's not very versatile right now. Also for policymakers and reusers, also it's an important use case, but I will talk about it after that. Yeah. And we have also a team of contributors who just is helping us improve data quality, and they use a lot the search feature. So now about the Search-a-Licious project. So Search-a-Licious was founded by NGI. It's a revamp of the Open Food Facts search engine. It's already deployed, but it's not visible yet because we are working on the interface right now. But the API is there, so you can already use the API if you want. It's deployed in production with the full database. And we can already see that it can bring far more relevant results. If you do a very simple search, we have far better results. And it's faster, right? Really, I think at least 3 or 5 times faster than the current search. So there is this powerful API, but we talk about it afterwards. And it supports many languages because our database is in a lot of languages. Yeah, and it's also a reusable brick, but I will talk about it later on. Yes, and yeah, and in the next phase, we also add graphs and so on. So how it works is that Search-a-Licious is more an integration of existing components. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We just take the well-known components that are used today. So like Elasticsearch or OpenSearch. I wanted to write it, I forgot. We use web component, and we use Redis event streams, or if on fork of Redis eventually for those who want to keep an open source license. And what's important is that it's ready to deploy. So there is a Docker Compose stack, and maybe someone will contribute a Kubernetes stack, I don't know. And yes, you are just one configuration file away from your own deployment. That's our bet, what we want to achieve. So the API is quite powerful, also simple, because it's a full open API compatible API. You can reach it right now on search.openfoodfacts.org/docs. And also, it builds upon Lucene query language. So it uses Elasticsearch, but it translates Lucene query language to Elasticsearch because it's a very powerful language. So it enables you to do very complicated search. So I'll illustrate a bit with brands is Nutella or Ferrero, and it's in the category bonbon, and it does not have nutrition grade E, for example. So as you see, it's quite powerful for to be able to write simple queries also programmatically. The idea of Search-a-Licious is really you don't have to learn everything about Elasticsearch and so on. We abstract it away with a simple interface. And yeah, we are also supporting taxonomies. That is, we are handling a lot of synonyms, a lot of languages, translations, and that kind of thing. And the idea also when we did refund the search engine, we also had, I don't know if you know about them because they are quite confidential yet, but we have this Open Beauty Fact, Open Pet Food Facts, and Open Product Facts projects, which we will work on making less confidential this year. We are trying to put them on par with Open Food Facts, at least on the feature side. So it will be the same search engine. So it's very convenient for us because, as I said, the only thing that will change will be the configuration file. And it's not only for Open Food Facts. When we did things about Search-a-Licious, as we had already 4 projects for which it should match, we wanted to do something which is reusable, to be able for innovators to quickly build application on existing data collection. So it just target quite homogeneous data collections. Imagine you have a database of books, a database of cars, a database of it's for quite homogeneous objects collection, but with a lot of fields, with maybe complicated fields. And with that, you will be able to have a very quickly an API that is set up, widgets to web components to be able to create your search page and display graphics. So we really hope it will help a lot. That's it. Thank you so much.